Do you use a lot of lease haulers or subcontractors on your jobs? Is it a pain to reach out to the subcontractors and get a commitment? We've listened and have recently added lease hauler request functionality. This functionality will reduce the time you spend getting the lease haulers to commit a number of trucks. Instead of focusing on orders like some of the other applications may do, we're just focusing on scheduling a number of trucks, and then later worry about the specific jobs that those trucks get tied to. We also allow your dispatcher to see the trucks available for scheduling along with your internal trucks, and it uses the same driver application to allow the lease haulers to acknowledge the dispatches and complete the loads. By doing this, you also see the same ticket and load information as your internal drivers, so you can compare the performance between the various subcontractors and your internal drivers. Now that I've told you a little bit about what it does, let's spend just a brief minute on an overview of how this functionality works. Now first off, you see on the screen that we're looking at the lease hauler request screen. We're going to assume that you've set up the lease haulers and their drivers and trucks, and we'll cover that in a separate training video on how that's done. But you'll notice here we have two options: send requests and add new. The send requests is what you'll do when you want the dispatcher of the lease hauler office to fill out a web form that you'll be able to see the information. So let's just real quick see what happens. And we say we want this for Monday, day shift. And you can set up canned messages. I just happen to have one set up. Do you have any trucks you can send us tomorrow? If so, please click the link and let us know. And then you can come in and define which lease haulers you want to use. So let's see if we choose ABC Hauling, and we'll choose Acme Hauling, and we'll choose Upstate Dump Trucks. Okay. And we're going to go, so you could choose all your lease haulers if you wanted and send them all a request at once. So we'll click on send. And now what happens is they get a text with that message that we had in there and a link they can click on. And when they click on that link in their SMS text, they're able to tell you how many trucks. And they'll see something like this where they can put in how many trucks they're going to send to you. And once they do that, that shows up in the available. Now your dispatcher would come in and say, okay, I'll take both of those. Or if he already has enough, you may say 0 or 1 or however many you want. And when you do that, then that also is made available to the lease hauler on that same form, so they see, okay, he approved 2 of them for us. And then once they end up on the, and at that point, they'll have to go in and say, okay, here's the trucks and here's the drivers I'm going to give you, and then they show up on your schedule. Now, in the event that you're working with a subcontractor that doesn't have the ability to get SMS text messages, or you just prefer to call them and enter it in and have them show up on your schedule, instead of using the send requests, you can click on the add new. And with the add new, so we'll do this for the 29th, and we'll pick a hauler. And in this case, instead of them getting the form to fill out that asks how many they'll make available, now your dispatcher can type it in after he gets a phone call or something from their office. So let's just say 3, and then the dispatcher says, I'm going to take all 3 of those. And at this point it's up to, well, we don't want to do 3 since they only have 2 available. And we'll go ahead and select those trucks, and it puts the default driver in, and we'll go ahead and save it. And now when we go to the schedule, if we look at the 29th, you'll see that we've got those 2 trucks on our schedule. Up until the point that the trucks were defined, you didn't have them on your schedule. It was just showing your trucks. So in brief, that's the functionality. If you have any questions, let me know, but that's it for now. Have a great day.